Like many Tuscan dishes, the little dumplings called gnudi are a product of their environment. You've got soft cheese and field greens, and they're turned into pillow soft mounds and served with some simple but beautiful sauces. Julia's here, and we're lucky because she's going to show us how to make this extraordinary dish at home.
That's right. So gnudi is all about texture. The two main ingredients, the cheese, ricotta, and the greens, in this case we're using spinach, are very wet. And that moisture can really make a heavy dumpling. So you got to get rid of the moisture to start. And that's what we're going to do, setting the spinach aside for now. Let's focus on the ricotta.
Okay.
This is 12 ounces of whole milk ricotta. What I'm doing is very weird. I am spreading it out onto 2 layers of paper towels here. Now, this is a trick we've done many years ago with pumpkin, when we were making pumpkin cheesecake. You can drain the extra moisture away this way, and it's very easy. The cheese actually won't stick to the paper towels. It's a magic trick. Just spread the ricotta out to a nice thin layer over paper towels. By doing this, you reduce that draining time down to just 10 minutes. There we go. I'm gonna set this aside. Again, it only takes about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Next, the spinach. So we're gonna use frozen spinach. It's not only convenient, but it actually helps make very tender gnudi. So this is 10 ounces of frozen spinach. It's thawed. You can see that thawing liquid's right there in the bottom. I'm just gonna use my hands to squeeze it out. You're gonna get about anywhere from half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of liquid coming out. And you just don't want this in the dumpling. This is how you get a lead sinker right here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna drop it right into the food processor after I squeeze out the water. You wanna do this in a few batches. So this squeezed spinach is all in the food processor. Now we're just gonna buzz this for 30 seconds to chop it all up. All right, that looks pretty nicely chopped up. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, not super fine, not minced, but just chopped up with no big stems. All right, so we're gonna set this aside for now, and it's time to make the gnudi dough.
Okay.
So here I have half a cup of all-purpose flour. To this, we're gonna add an ounce of grated Parmesan cheese, which is about half a cup. And you can see this was nicely finely grated on the fine holes of a box grater or a rasp-style grater. So it's very fluffy, and it incorporates nicely into the dough. All right, now just a little bit of panko, just a tablespoon of panko, which I love because panko for me is a pantry ingredient, and it just absorbs some of the extra liquid and helps that gnudi dough hold together.
Okay.
A little bit of salt. It's 3/4 of a teaspoon of table salt, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Now we're gonna add a little bit of lemon zest, just 1/4 of a teaspoon of fresh lemon zest. Lemon and spinach is a lovely classic combination.
That is true.
Now we're gonna add some egg whites. This is 2 egg whites. That'll just, help bind the dough together. Next we'll add the spinach. Okay. Last but not least, the ricotta. What we wanna do is fold the ricotta onto the ricotta, and ricotta will stick to ricotta, and you can just peel away the paper towels.
Look at that.
It's kind of fun. And if it sticks like that, you just kind of pat it onto the ricotta, and there you go, and pull it back. All right.
That.
Yeah, so you can kind of keep spinning the pan 90 degrees and folding it over, and just making a cheese fold. All right, we're gonna make it a bit smaller. All right, we're gonna add that to the dough. We're gonna keep this tray because this is what we're gonna shape the gnudi onto. All right, so you really wanna just stir this all up. You don't want any clumps of anything. That looks nice and uniform. What we're gonna do is we're gonna portion out the dough, a generous teaspoon per gnudi. I'm gonna portion it out, and you're gonna roll it into a little ball. And this will make anywhere from 45 to 50 little dumplings.
Just gingerly, because this is very soft. And as soft as it is, it actually rolls out quite nice.
Yeah, and it doesn't really stick to your hands either.
Nope.
So after we roll these all out, we can get to cooking.
Sounds great.
The gnudi are rolled and waiting, and it's time to start with the sauce because the gnudi cooks so quickly that it's nice to get the sauce done right before you drop them in the water.
Very convenient.
Now, classically, gnudi is served with either a bright tomato sauce or a brown butter sauce, but nowadays there's lots of modern interpretations. And we kind of gonna mix the two to a brown butter tomato sauce.
Oh, gorgeous.
It's delicious. All right, so in this little saucepan, I have 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're just gonna melt this. While that melts, I'm gonna slice some garlic. So this is 3 peeled cloves, just gonna trim off those little ends. And I'm just gonna slice it thinly, because the more you chop garlic, the more garlic flavor you get.
It's exactly true, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna set that aside. I'm also gonna prep the tomatoes using cherry tomatoes here. You could also use grape tomatoes. Always in season, always have a good sweet flavor. And we have to cut them in half, so I'm gonna do our little trick
Love it.
of easy cutting in half tomatoes. 2 deli lids, you Put the other lid upside down on top.
So easy.
I know, it's fun every time.
Now, how many tomatoes is that?
That's 12 ounces of cherry tomatoes.
Great.
How's our butter doing?
It is melted.
All right, so now I'm gonna add the garlic. We're just gonna cook this for a few minutes. We're looking so the butter gets a little brown, the edges of the garlic get a little brown. So we're gonna keep our eye on that. Don't let it get too
I will
dark.
keep my eye on it.
I'm gonna finish up these tomatoes. Oh, you can see that butter is browning. Those garlic chips are turning a little bit golden, so we're gonna add the tomatoes. Oh, all that tomato juice comes right out with that heat. To this, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of cider vinegar just to brighten the tomatoes up. A little salt and pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of each. And we're just gonna let this cook for a couple of minutes. We don't want the tomatoes to break down completely. We just want them to soften a bit.
Gorgeous.
All right, so let's turn this down. Let it simmer away. Now it's time to cook the gnudi. So here I have a nice big pot, not a ton of water.
No.
Just a quart of water, should measure about 1 inch. We're gonna add a decent amount of salt. That's 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And then in go the gnudi. I like using this to help transfer them over.
A little spider or a skimmer.
Yeah, just a little more gentle. Gentle than I am anyway. I can be a little rough in the kitchen, in case you didn't know that. All right, so you wait for the water to come back to a simmer, which it has. And now these are just gonna cook for 5 minutes. All right, these have been cooking for 5 minutes. Only one way to test for doneness, and that is for me to taste it. They are perfect. So we're gonna turn off the heat. I have 4 serving bowls. You can see the cherry tomatoes are softened, but they haven't broken down.
Oh, look at that.
I know. It's like a tomato butter gravy. Time to get the gnudi out of the pot. The gnudi is so delicate, you don't want to top it with sauce. You want it to be on top of the sauce. Fresh basil.
Beautiful.
About 2 tablespoons. And a little bit of grated fresh Parmesan.
I'm going to poke right into one of these.
Oh yeah, and then swirl it around in that butter sauce. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
It's like spinach and ricotta barely being held together.
Just with a prayer.
Kind of. Well, they are heavenly. They're light. They're feather light. Pillow light.
So good.
Gnudi under a Tuscan sun.
Well, it feels almost like comfort food. Even though it's very fresh and very light, it's really satisfying.
To make this gorgeous gnudi at home, drain ricotta on paper towels, squeeze thawed frozen spinach by the handful, and use egg whites and a small amount of flour and panko to bind the mixture. And don't forget to serve it with a sweet and quick tomato sauce. So from America's Test Kitchen, a beautiful, pillowy, soft, tender, and easy to make spinach and ricotta gnudi with tomato butter sauce. I'm gonna go for a whole one. Can she do it?
Oh, I know she can. Thanks for watching America's Test Kitchen. What'd you think?
Well, leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or you can just say hello.
You can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
I'll see you later.